So if we've got that grab and it's coming in, but he gets my lapel, and I need to break this grip to deal with it, I'm gonna put my hand on the back of that immediately. As soon as this grab comes in, I'm gonna get my hand here so that I'm not jostled, so that he doesn't shake me around, I don't lose my footing or my balance. And then I'm gonna rotate my body kind of to the outside of his arm. I'm gonna hide myself over here. And as I do that, I'm gonna grip my gi, and I'm gonna strip it out of his grip as I do a little punch. So it's a very subtle little punch with my hand. It's more with my hip than with my arm. And it's mostly about pulling this gi to strip the grip. If I make it too much about the push, then I might lose connection with his arm. If he jerks his arm away from me at this point, it's gonna be harder for me to keep it. So I'm rotating myself outside. I want to get that little pull there. Hands come together. Now my elbows are tight, and I'm in a really good position to switch and do an Omote gyaku and take him down. Elbows are close to me, things are strong. I want to avoid, if I can, coming back into where he's going to be stronger and I'm back into range of that hit. So see if you can get yourself out on his extended arm and keep it extended. Right, maybe flare that elbow to pop it on the way down. So grip happens, hand right here. Make sure you don't get knocked off balance. Slide yourself back, and then let's angle away from him, keeping that arm extended. And what's the name of this wrist lock? Omote gyaku, right? I know this is elementary for us, but some of us are starting to be artistic with it, which is great. But I don't know, there's this cool meme that, like, just because it's different doesn't mean it's useful. And you've seen the fork with the chain in the middle? So just something to consider, right? All right, on three, 1, 2, 3. Opposite is going to be a setup for ura gyaku or hon gyaku. As the grip happens, again, we're going to meet it quickly, and I like to sneak my hand in and get in front of him. This does a couple of things. One, it starts to stress his grip right off the bat, and two, it dampens any sort of like jostling he's going to try to do. If I'm not holding this and he starts pushing and pulling, it's going to move me back and forth pretty sharply. But if I put my hands there, I can feel it, and it sort of dampens the effect a little bit. So it acts like a little bit of a movement buffer. I can strip the grip and go this way like we did last time. With this one, maybe I wind up hitting across. So imagine Mike's throwing a shot and I'm defending and I hit across, right? And I sneak this hand down here. If I do that, I'm gonna move my covering hand out of the way and catch under his pinky. Okay, so I move that, I just sort of lift it, but I'm keeping a little downward pressure here and come under the pinky. And then I can push down to strip the grip, right? So I've got my hand on top of it, I'm just gonna drive it down that way to strip the grip. I can also sneak this in and grab my gi and pull it out from his grip. You may have a preference, but you may like one versus the other. So I'm gonna hit and disrupt, right? Strip the grip out, the gi out, or defend and hit and push down. But from either of those positions, I'm gonna swing this foot back and hide myself behind Mike's arm. So I'm kind of in between his arms here. I'm in this like inside position. I'm gonna rotate so I'm looking down the arm this way towards Mike. And I'm in a great position for a hon gyaku, right? Like a straight down sort of shearing wrist lock. Or I could switch to an ura gyaku. If I want to do an ura gyaku and force him into a front roll, I have to make sure his palm goes over the top and to the ground. So we're going that way. So I'm going to rotate and put his palm on the ground. If he doesn't roll out of that, it's going to be a lot of force on his wrist, which we're all aware of. Monitor and defend. Maybe we hit across. Two versions to strip that grip. Either case, I want to rotate so I'm looking down his arm. And I can go with the straight, especially if he comes back to hit me. This is a really nasty, he puts himself in that wrist lock, right? We've all seen it, but it can look kind of invisible, so be careful as the attacker. But if I want to like make him go into a front roll, put his palm on the ground. If you stop short of that, they may just go to their knees. But if you get that full rotation, they'll have to go underneath themselves. Any questions on that? Let's go. the most confident in. If somebody's really got a grip and they're a lot bigger than me, and I'm tired and I'm a little more fatigued, is a 2-on-1 grip break. If Mr. Mike's got me by the lapel here, I could do it just by grabbing his wrist. I'm a fan of like sort of cuffing and getting like my knuckles into this. If I roll this way and put my sort of door knocking knuckles into his arm, it kind of bites into it. I'm not trying to punch his arm so much as I am trying to push myself away, that I can strip this off this way. And it's moving my whole body. So if I try this and it doesn't work, if I'm trying this and it doesn't work, I'm gonna go for this one because I'm moving my whole body against it. Now I've got this grip. So this is this 2-on-1 position, which we found ourselves in a bunch of different techniques. And there's a bunch of things that we could do after. The one that's probably the most simple is to set up gyaku nage or ura seiyu nage. So I'm going to switch, bringing this around my shoulder or up over my shoulder this way. So I'm going to strip and then I'll hide myself behind his arm. I'm a fan in this case of, as I pull this across the shoot, this other hand under. So it's bicep to tricep here, a little downward pressure on his arm like that. Could be used to throwing, could be used to set up for a chin strap grip to go into a choke sequence. But it's very natural for me to move into this position where I'm here. Again, we could call this gyaku nage. If it's up on the shoulder, sometimes we call it ura seiyu nage. But it's mostly this elbow bar sort of pitch. 2-on-1. Or like this, separate, I'm going to pull, then I'm dragging myself up behind his arm, shoot this hand underneath, a little shorter punch into this, very similar to the way we're going to do a ganseki nage, except my arm's going to be underneath. But if somebody grabs us with like a kumi-uchi grip, like they're going to wrestle with us, and they've got a grip on our lapel and maybe on our sleeve, we kind of match. Like this is a grip that happens a lot where I've got one up here and one like this. In this case, it can be a little bit harder for me to get to the outside of this arm because he's got this grip on me here. So I would do the drag, but I'm going to drag down to the side of my hip and dig my underhook. So I'm going to pop the grip and pull myself to him like this. I'm going to pull this to my hip and dig this under. Then with a little bit of a lift and shock, we're in this overhook or underhook position here where we can headbutt, we can attack his leg, we can go with something like a ganseki. If you like a single leg, it's a single leg opportunity. But we're in a hub that should be relatively familiar for us. So if we wind it like this and I can't break his grip, maybe he's not letting me knee him, I'm going to strip, pull it to the outside of my hip, dig my leg. Bounce off of that to here. And then we're in a place where we should feel relatively familiar. Again, if you like a single leg, we're in a good single leg opportunity. If I start messing with his leg and he pulls it out of the way, we can start switching and throwing him to the front or bumping and taking down to the side. Strip the grip and just look for a ganseki nage opportunity as well. So if you've got two grips and I can't get myself to the outside, pull yourself into the middle. Lift and bump. And that'll be the last one for tonight. So still a 2-on-1 grip break, but because he's got this sleeve, I'm gonna put it to the outside of my hip and shoot my arm into the middle.